Hi, Dr. Berg here. We're going to answer the question, are you irritable on your intermittent fasting program? Do you get grouchy? Are you edgy? Do you get tired? Do you get a headache? So let's talk about why that is. When you initially start intermittent fasting, you're relying on your sugar fuel initially, and then you're going to switch over to fat burning. So the goal is to get you in a state of running on your own fat fuel, which is a lot more stable. But initially, before the transition, you're going to have to adapt to it, okay? In your liver and your muscle, you have the stored sugar, and that's stored glucose as something called glycogen. So it's a glycogen reserve. You don't have a lot of it, and you run out of it pretty quickly. So here you are eating, you spike your sugar, and then you run out of that stored sugar, and you end up with low blood sugar, and that's why you have these symptoms. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to switch over to fat burning, where now we don't end up with this low glycogen reserve because we don't have to rely on the stored sugar. We don't have to tap into the stored sugar. We're just having like a switch turn right into your fat reserve like that. That's the goal. But here's some mistakes that a lot of people make when they start doing this, okay? They just have a little bit of carb, a little bit of fruit, half a banana, a little juice, a little piece of chocolate, ketchup, a little bread, a little apple, when they're trying to do intermittent fasting. That is going to completely nullify and destroy intermittent fasting. When you're doing intermittent fasting, you got to do this correctly as far as what you eat at the meal. That's why I recommend a keto with intermittent fasting. So that meal, or even any snacks that you're doing, which you shouldn't be doing, should not even consume even a little bit of the wrong thing. Like let's say you're eating like some dates or popcorn. Now, if you do that, just realize it's going to throw you off for probably a day. So I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah, it's going to a while. It's not going to be just like a simple thing. Now, as you start adapting to intermittent fasting and you're really in fat burning, your system is going to be, when you go off the program, you might feel it a lot more because your body is so used to now burning fat. And then you switch to sugar burning, it just completely throws you off. For example, when I was recently going to do our manufacturing for this ice cream that I'm going to create, and it was a disaster. I'll tell you another story. But we go out there, and they already have their line of ice cream. And of course, we're going to do ours, which is 0 sugar. And theirs is not 0 sugar. It's a lot of sugar. So, of course, he wanted me to sample some of his ice cream, and I didn't want to say no. So I just had a little bit, like the smallest bit of sugar. And I've been so clean for so long, that sugar, I just could physically feel the sugar going up, tired, need to take a nap in the car, and then it dropped down. I'm like, wow, now I'm like hungry, and I'm feeling my blood sugar. So when you start doing this and you start getting clean, you are going to feel the effects of low blood sugar a lot more than you did before. I'm sorry about that, but that's going to happen. So you don't want to just do a little bit of alcohol, chocolate, bread, ketchup, because it's going to throw you off for a longer period of time than you might think. Now, some of you are watching this going, well, that's impossible, I can't do it. Well, that's fine, go ahead and do it, but just don't be surprised if you have these reactions. Just realize, okay, I screwed up for a day, I don't really care, I'm gonna start Monday, right? Also, when you do this, to make this transition smooth, in order to switch over faster, you need more potassium. So you need those big salads, huge salads, more vegetables. You need that. Without that, it's going to be really hard to make the transition. You also need B vitamins, nutritional yeast. Very important. Also, if you think you're going to do like a low-fat protein, let's say you have a steak and a vegetable, that's not going to cut it. Why? Because it's not enough fat. The fat is necessary, especially in the beginning, to get you go from this meal to this meal without the blood sugar issue. Okay, so if you go low fat, you're going to be like, you know what, I'm hungry an hour later, it's not working. So make sure that when you even, you do meat, make sure you do the fattier portion, don't go low fat or anything, but add some fat in there, especially in the beginning, vital. Okay? Next thing is that don't try to go into this too fast. Don't go right to 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day. Do 3 meals for a while, gradually start pushing the second meal in the morning closer and closer to lunch to the point where you can drop out. But you got to do this gradually at your own pace, especially if you had diabetes or really bad insulin resistance before you started. And then the other thing is, if your sleep is off, let's say you're traveling and you have jet lag, or your stress is high, both of those factors are going to make it even more difficult. So just realize those can throw you off. Do what you can to get a nap, but if the sleep's off and the stress is high, that will throw off the blood sugars. So do what you can to go for long walks and kind of overcompensate. All right? Thanks for watching. Hi guys. Hey, listen, I created a pretty amazing evaluation quiz down below that actually analyzes your symptoms to find the cause, the root cause of all of your symptoms, the most likely cause. So take the quiz now and we'll send you a report.